Just before watching this video, I wanted to specify that it's a school project, meaning the editing might be different and it contains spoilers about those movies. So if you didn't watch them yet but want to, then just come back later and go watch them in a very legal way. Enjoy watching! Welcome everybody, my name's Hugo and today as a holiday homework, let's talk about 3 movies around 3 different British historical eras. We're gonna do this in chronological order, first with Victorian England and A Christmas Carol, then World War I with 1917, and finally British Empire with Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I precise that I put World War I before British Empire because I wanted to watch Gandhi at first. For the first one, A Christmas Carol is actually a mini-series directed by Nick Murphy and written by Stephen Knight that contains 3 long episodes where we see the famous character of Scrooge from the short story by Charles Dickens. At first, I actually wanted to watch the Disney movie inspired by the same story, but I quickly changed my mind and I didn't regret it. It's a dark fantasy drama story, which is unusual for a Christmas movie, or at least what I've watched before. Scrooge is known for his greed and his hate of Christmas, but everything's gonna take a turn when his dead work colleague, Jacob Marley, has to rest in peace in his coffin. So he was sent to the purgatory but obtained only chains because of his action when he was alive. After that, he met the ghost of Christmas past, who told him how to obtain the eternal peace. Go with Scrooge to make him realize his past mistakes, which seemed so hard that he was already losing hope. But when Scrooge came back from work, he got a lot of signs of unknown presence, thinking at first that it was some natural hallucination possibly caused by his drunkenness. But then he accepted all the ghost orders and found a lot of truths of the past that explain how it made him that bad guy in the present. Again, for a Christmas series, I got surprised by the eerie atmosphere in each episode. I would even say that it could be assimilated to horror at some moments, but I liked it. I like how it feels different for once watching this kind of Christmas story, clearly not for younger audiences. The soundtrack matches the Victorian era and the Christmas season perfectly by using a lot of choruses that remind of Christmas carols, but also a significant use of bells, either for joyful or dreadful moments. The lack of lightning while filming the scenes makes it natural so we can feel even more things. I think we can congratulate the actors that played the scenes perfectly, speaking in a sustained manner, maybe to match the old version of the English language. I like that series because it feels very original to me, but yet inspired by a well-known story. Like a lot of movies and series, it reminds me that some humans are really trash and realize it sometimes too late, which explains that my favorite scene was at the moment where Scrooge is finally making an effort, next to her sister, who is also the ghost of Christmas present Lottie, to change the things he still can. That's definitely a mature way of looking at Scrooge's story. I would recommend it like the other creation of the director, but make the feeling last a little more. Those movies are better when they are watched with days apart. That's the good stuff for Christmas. I give it a high 4.5 out of 5. Next is 1917, directed by Sam Mendes and got the help of Christy Wilson Cairns for the scenario. I chose this movie because I know that it's a very known one. My family already watched it and were in Ardennes, so we know this event very well. It's a war and a dramatic movie. 2 British soldiers, Scofield and Blake, are fighting alongside the Allies in the northeast of France in the trenches, but they got a mission from the Colonel Erin Moore explaining that the Colonel Mackenzie from the 2nd Battalion of the Devonshire Regiment is gonna launch an attack thinking that the Germans are retreating, but in reality it's a trap that could kill 1,600 soldiers. So the two soldiers need to cross no man's land and go on the front line to give the order to the colonel to stop. It is also an opportunity for Blake to see his brother, who is lieutenant there, but they're gonna have a lot of trouble making it, with German traps and soldiers and more. I know why this film has won so many prizes. It's deserved. The battlefield reconstitution is accurate with the bad hygiene, and the two soldiers keep their courage until the end. I still found something very strange in the movie, is that time goes fast sometimes. I don't know if it tried to make a smooth transition to skip hours, but I'm not a fan of that. The soundtrack is very strong. I'm not gonna lie when I say that I literally cried at some point. The fact that there is no other content in this movie than what Scofield and Blake are doing, and that for almost 2 hours, makes it easy to follow the whole mission. I still feel sometimes that some places are more deteriorated than they should actually be, but it's not a big deal. I like it, not only because it's World War related, but because the landscapes are relatable. My favorite part was the wholesome moment with Scofield, a French woman and an unknown baby that she protects home. Too bad they didn't start a family at some point in the end. Of course, this type of events makes me sad after watching, but not as much as a fiction, because I know it happened a long time ago. But look at what we've become today. Things have changed. Unfortunately, not for everyone still. I would recommend it, even though there are chances that my friends have already watched it. These are the long movies that I like, so the director is lucky that I could watch his other creations. That is an iconic war movie, not too perfect, but enough to make it emotional. 4 out of 5. And finally, let's be pirates with Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, directed by Gore Verbinski. I chose this movie because I wanted to discover the saga. It's an adventure and a fantasy movie. The movie starts with the blacksmith's backstory, called Will Turner, saved by the governor's daughter, Elizabeth Swan. Turns out that she took his gold Aztec medallion, which is an heritage of Will's father, who was a pirate, meaning that he has pirate blood but grew up despising them. Then comes our famous pirate Jack Sparrow in Fort Charles, searching for wealth and a new boat, but gets into trouble with the British Marine, so he ends up in prison. The gold medallion actually brings a cursed ship, the Black Pearl, with its crew and Captain Barbossa being actually undead people, to kidnap Elizabeth. So Will Turner comes back to Jack Sparrow in prison to let him go and help him get Elizabeth back. They'll form a new crew with some people from Tortuga, and they will need to fight for their life. Of course, I need to mention the amazing role of Johnny Depp into Jack Sparrow. It is iconic. The atmosphere matches every moment. It's like the curse has its own. In addition, with the undead curse, it brings a Halloween vibe. And I can't forget the famous soundtrack that you can hear in the background, with Klaus, Badelt and Hans Zimmer as composers. For the undead effect, I think it's CGI and it's well used, with the switching parts when they hide from the moonlight, and having a great view of the sea when ships are fighting is perfect for this movie. If I had a nickel for every movie with an event about a certain ship, a guy named Jack and a romance, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. I give it a 5 out of 5. Great way to end my video. See ya next time.